The country was prepared because this had been announced, and we were waiting with bated breath for the interview in State House because William Ruto had requested that journalists meet him in State House. Over the last few weeks, the country has gone through turmoil, physically and literally in flames, when a young generation led mass protest on the streets, and they were telling the nation and the president that as much as you think we are young professionals, we understand our constitution, and we understand everything that is going on in this country. For a very long time, this generation said, we have been pushed to the periphery, but we want to be part of the conversation. We have left people to decide on our behalf, people who don't have us at heart. And this time round, we want to be on the table where pertinent issues that concern us are talked about. And they made it very clear that we are tribeless. So don't tell us about Wanyama, Onyango, Kamau, Kitinda. Don't tell us about tribe. They also said we don't belong to any political party. So don't tell us about ODM and UDA and Amani National Congress. Don't tell us about Wiper. We don't care. They said we don't have our leaders. We are all equal. So stop telling us that we have leaders who should come and meet you for a conversation. And they also said, we have given you a blueprint. Stop corruption. Don't revive the CSS. And with that, William Ruto was doomed. Apart from that, in the process of going to the streets, many had been killed, butchered, and maimed. And with that, they were very mad and vexed. They had visited their members of parliament who voted yes to the Finance Bill 2024 that had brought about all the controversy in the country. All the MPs are now hiding. They are never free to meet this generation, the Gen Z. Some of their houses have been torched. Many are running away. In fact, they have vacated from their rural homes. They are now hiding in the city in Nairobi. Police and killer cops had been identified. The trigger-happy policemen who kill aimlessly, and blood, their hands are soaked in blood. With all this, ladies and gentlemen, property was also destroyed, including parliament. City Hall was touched, and office of the judiciary was also touched. So William Ruto was going to meet journalists. With all this in his back, as a father of the nation, we wanted to understand what he was going to say. We expected him to show a lot of empathy and sympathy. But guess what? And that conversation, I left it going on because I wanted to really understand Ruto's attitude. As I speak, I believe they're still going on. But in the beginning, when he just began, the question that was thrown to him was, Mr. President, the Gen Z is saying that you must resign. This does not need any interpretation. What do you think? And that is what I want us to discuss, because there is this answer that William Ruto gave that is the most reckless statement that our president has made on national TV. Before that, I don't know why people are because I want to show that video, but I don't know why people had been waiting for Sam Gituku, because I think he had been said that Sam would be one of the panelists who will be interviewing William Ruto. People always love the way he corners these politicians, because politicians are cunning. But when people saw instead Linus Kaikai, some have gone to social media and they are reprimanding Linus Kaikai. To the best of my knowledge, these are in-house policies. We do not know why it was Linus who came instead. And I watched him, he was doing a good job, even though many people really wanted Sam Gituku. But Citizen TV does not, really owe us an explanation. It is an These are enough, but I know they will be kind enough maybe to say what happened, because people are up in arms and they are saying, Linus, why didn't you allow somebody to go? So William Ruto, I don't know whether it was a slip of the tongue, but he said that property has been destroyed. And as a democracy, despite all the deaths that have taken place, we, as a democracy, we do not need to talk about the deaths. We don't have to. The only thing we need to talk about are the pieces of property that were destroyed. And if you think I'm lying, I want you to pay very close attention to what William Ruto said, because that was the onset, the beginning of the conversation that was setting the mood.
I have no blood on my hands. 19 people, to the record that I have from the security agencies, are dead. Very unfortunate. As a democracy, that should not be part of our conversation. 2.4 billion of property has been destroyed. The office of the Chief Justice has been burnt. City Hall has been burnt. Parliament has been burnt. That is the situation.
Let's turn lives. Let's turn lives, Your Excellency.
19
let's
people
turn lives,
dead.
Your Excellency.
We have 19
I said
people
24.
dead.
I want to believe that you are equally surprised, because before a leader goes for interview, he should be prepared. Because I have painted for you a picture of what happened in the country, and he knew this was going to form the basis of the conversation that they were going to have. We agree fully that any property should not be destroyed, because in our constitution it allows for freedom of picketing, protest, and it should be protest without weapons, very peaceful, without causing any danger to the police, without infringing on the rights of those who are not going for demonstration. And if you ask me, that is exactly what the Gen Z have always been doing. William Ruto had complained that there are some criminal elements who infiltrated into the very peaceful protest of the Gen Z. Be that as it may, we really expected that William Ruto would empathize with the people, that including the first person who was shot on Moi Avenue. He did not have any weapon. I'm forgetting his name, somebody Masai, including this little boy who the body was riddled with 9 bullets. A young boy, 12 years, a primary school, child. And it is a conversation that has been going on. Is one of the people the boy has been one of the people who has been trending. The mother broke in tears. And I expected that, among other things William Ruto had at the fingertips, would be about this boy. Now, when he was asked about this boy, because as a president, he should know, he was asking, kama huyu bado ako alive na ni mtoto alikufa. It means he did not have the facts. Just take a look at how he was fumbling about this.
Mr. President, this boy, 12-year-old, took 8 bullets into the body of a 12-year-old boy. What would you tell the mother of that boy?
That boy is alive, right?
No, it's not.
Kennedy Onyango died.
He's died.
So he's the one who died?
Yes.
So you're not talking about the person who was shot with rubber bullets?
No.
Yeah?
Shot with bullets 8 times.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
In Gong, this is the situation in Gong, right? In Gong, there was an incident.
In the whole of that conversation, you realize that he did not even know that this boy died. We can forgive him for that. He's got a lot that he's dealing with. He was being pushed to apologize, even to show empathy. But I don't want to be unfair. At some point, after being pushed, he apologized, and he was saying that it is very unfortunate. He said he's got children just like all those parents who lost their children. Now, if you want to know that William Ruto had a position on this, and that is the reason why he did see the need of having a conversation about those who are dead. Instead, he wanted people to discuss property that was destroyed. He was asked, what is your take on how the police handled the whole matter? In fact, including the abduction of Alfred Keter, whom he explained that was summoned and he could not obey the police summon, and that is why he had to be taken by force from his vehicle when people are screaming, people who we believe are the family, the wife, and the children. A very unfortunate situation there. But William Ruto said that the police did their best.
I think the police have done the best they could. If there are any excesses, we have mechanisms to make sure that those excesses are dealt with.
Let's wrap it this way, Your Excellency, on that topic. You have absolutely no regrets about the abductions and no regrets about the killings?
Those are your words. Those are not mine.
They're also your deputy's
Please
words.
don't put words in my
They're
mouth.
also your deputy's words, and he's part of your government. Because
And I'm just wondering, do you think the police did their best? Because we have seen images of cops who are killing people just aimlessly. Some of them in civilian, just shooting people. But what does this tell you? Because William Ruto's conduct and statement is really one thing. One, I conclude that it is William Ruto who ordered the killings, if you ask me. I conclude is the one. He is the commander-in-chief of all the armed forces. And so I want to conclude that he is the one who commanded all this, including commanding our military to be on the streets. There could not be any other person. Number two, William Ruto is insecure. Even from the body language, he looks very insecure. And one who is insecure will act very desperately to protect himself. And that is very bad. He's very insecure. Number three, William Ruto has lost touch with the reality on the ground completely. Because if you listened to the whole of that conversation, he still believes that the Finance Bill 2024 was the best thing that ever came to us after oxygen. And he's defending it. And he's telling us, he's now instilling fear that because people rejected the finance bill, counties will not get money that they're supposed to get. The JSC teachers will not be employed. I mean, just like Musalia Mudavadi said, that if the finance bill collapses, then William Ruto would go home, or government, projects will stall and collapse. And he's using that. And that's why I'm saying that he has really lost contact and any touch with the people, with the reality on the ground, because we know there's a lot of corruption. Let him just seal the loopholes where the money is being siphoned, and that is it. Because we know that the problem in Kenya and the problem with our budget is never tax collection. In fact, Kenyans agree that we can even pay double, but the expenditure, unnecessary spending and wastage, even the IMF says so. Let them just still, seal the loopholes of corruption and reduce the taxes. Even the huge loans that we are getting, we don't see the value for that money. So, ladies and gentlemen, it caught my attention that even though now the conversation had to go on from the onset, the head of the nation had said, as a democracy, we don't need to talk about debt. In other words, those are trivial matters. What we need to talk about are the pieces of property that were destroyed. If you ask me, both property, lives must be protected and property must be protected. I feel for the person who maybe took some loan and began some business and it went down in flame. It's sad, I know, in a situation where life is, the condition of living is very bad. I feel pain and sympathy and empathy for the person who has lost a dad, a mom, a child, and all that. And as the head of the nation, William Ruto should have decided to take all this and condemn them in the strongest terms possible, not trying to protect the police, telling us that you should not talk about lives. To me, that was very bad. Even though the entire conversation went well, but it only means that he was being compelled, cajoled to do it. He didn't want. That's why he said it from the onset. And it tells us who is now ordering the killings. It also tells me that the investigation about who did what, how many people have died, will not come out because the president himself is protecting his men. No information will come out. We will not know the number who have been killed. And finally, justice will not be dispensed. Even the people who have lost their children, from the conversation that William Ruto is having, hakuna haja ya kuongea mambo ya watu ambao walikufa, afadhali tuongelee mali ambayo iliharibika. It tells me that justice will not be dispensed. I don't know whether I'm reading wrong, but that is my take.